What are you? What is that? It's like a squid, maybe? Wow. I've never seen anything that looks like this before.
How many organisms are on this one structure? It's a great question.
Wow.
It's huge.
Oh my gosh.
And the colors,
Cool.
that is beautiful.
Wow. I've never seen one like that.
The vast and unexplored wilderness of the deep sea harbours an abundance of enigmatic life, a wealth of mysterious creatures and secrets yet to be discovered. We know very little about our planet's least explored habitat, but all scientific observations indicate one thing: the deep sea is crucial for the health of our planet. Yet, as the climate emergency accelerates, this unspoiled haven has emerged as a new frontier for devastating resource extraction.
My concern about deep sea mining is, of course, that we know so little about these ecosystems, and that exploration may very well have significant unintended negative consequences. The deep sea is really one of the very few pristine ecosystems remaining, and to just open up for exploitation without regulation, without proper insight is close to madness.
In this building in Jamaica, at the UN-affiliated International Seabed Authority, 167 states in the European Union are discussing plans to govern an emerging extractive industry. Deep-sea mining could be greenlit as early as 2023, despite major scientific knowledge gaps and fierce opposition from scientists, states, and many of the world's largest companies.
These deep-sea ecosystems are much more complex and much more variable than we ever realised before. It's too early to understand what the impacts of deep-sea mining would be, but we know enough to know that the damage to biodiversity would be really serious for these ecosystems.
Mining companies want to extract minerals that form an irreplaceable habitat for ocean life and are essential for the deep-sea food web, such as the most sought-after ores, polymetallic nodules. To bring these deposits to the surface, heavy machines would plough the seabed, leaving behind permanent scars and crushing marine life in their path. The process will create suffocating sediment plumes and disperse polluting waste throughout the water column. Light and noise pollution on a never-before-experienced scale will be massively disruptive to marine life, including some of our ocean's most beloved inhabitants. These disturbances will result in biodiversity loss, potentially impact fisheries, and disrupt the oceanic carbon cycle, marine ecosystem functions, and food webs.
Comment peut-on, en 2023, comment peut-on se mettre à massacrer l'océan en s'attaquant à cet inconnu qui s'appelle les grands fonds marins pour des ressources improbables dans des conditions qui ne sont absolument pas scientifiquement probantes.
When we look at the ocean, we think it's a vast space that is largely uninhabited, but the deep ocean actually is a space full of life, and full of life that we have discovered only recently. This life is under threat, and science tells us that activities such as deep seabed mining would cause severe harm. This is why the German government has decided to take a precautionary pause in deep seabed mining.
At the United Nations, it was agreed that the international seabed area and its mineral resources should be reserved as the common heritage of humankind for the benefit of humankind as a whole. Rushing to allow exploitation activities to commence might undermine this principle of the common heritage of humankind, particularly given that only a small number of actors want to go ahead with mining activities, while a lot of other countries and other actors are advocating for more caution and for more time for the negotiations.
Triodos decided to exclude deep-sea mining from its financing and investment activities because the environmental risks to the deep-sea ecosystems are not really well understood yet, and as a prudent and precautionary investor, we just simply do not want to take the risk and also want to call on the financial industry to join us in this.
We have signed this moratorium for deep sea mining, and there are several other major companies that have also joined us in that. BMW, you have Volvo, you have Scandia, Renault and Volkswagen, to mention some large ones.
A lot of big companies like Microsoft and various others have said they will not take minerals which have been taken from deep sea mining. So, you know, a lot of the potential market is kind of evaporating before our eyes.
It's very clear that we need to build a circular economy. We need to bring down the use of raw material. Why should we at all undertake such a risky endeavor if even our major industry players say they do not need those mineral resources?
The vital green transition can be achieved without destroying ecosystems. But currently, a handful of individuals within the International Seabed Authority could push humanity towards a far more destructive route. This organisation needs reform to ensure it acts on behalf of us all, especially indigenous people and communities with strong ties to the ocean, who vocally oppose the rush towards deep-sea mining.
A key voice from this discussion has been missing all this time, which includes Pacific Islanders who actually come from this big blue continent and are probably the best representation of how the high seas should be managed.
In those conversations of mining, there's even no consideration that we come from this space. It's about minerals, it's about resources, it's about extraction with no regard for culture.
We have been exploiting this planet for quite some time now, and we hear this planet crying out quite loud. Species are dying, climate is out of control, and we should really think deeply and listen to science and to this planet before we take an act like this.
On ne peut plus aujourd'hui considérer que l'océan est une source d'exploitation infinie et que plus on l'exploitera, mieux on se portera. C'est bien le contraire.
Given all the evidence which is being amassed, it would be quite reasonable to make the decision never to mine in these ecosystems, especially if, frankly, there's no real economic or strategic need to do so.